So the Phantoms win the game against Sheffield Steel Dogs 3-2. Overtime goal from Alice Padlett. More of that later. Will, never in doubt.
Yeah. It was a really competitive game of hockey. It was two good teams going head to head. I think, different styles, different philosophies, but equally two of the big names or big clubs in the league in terms of rosters. So yeah, it was a good game, and it was in doubt at some points, but we always felt we were in with a chance, and we did what we needed to do in the end.
Not much between the two sides, I think, overall. I think the number of penalties each side conceded was probably, they conceded 5, I think we conceded 4, but similar kind of scoring record on the power play, which was for either side. The D's were strong, kept the offence to the outside really. Not much of a fag, but more than a fag paper between the two sides. And I think games against these two teams have been like that over the last few years, really.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what people want to see. They don't want to see the games where it's one-sided and you got top team against a bottom team, and that's where this league has improved over the years. That looking back 5-6 years ago, Steel Dogs have never been a bad team, but they were kind of fighting at the other end of the table, but they've improved significantly over the years, and they're fun games to play and fun as a player, and I'd hope fun as a paying customer.
I think the fans at the end, I mean, in some ways the game was, there were some similarities with last week's game against Telford in that it came alight in the last 10 minutes. I thought we started well, scrappy, disjointed middle period, largely due to quite a lot of penalties being called and a couple of goals. But I thought there was an improvement in general play in that through the first maybe 3 weekends of the season. I think we've been a little, I hate myself for saying it, too offensive. And so we've not had the stay-at-home D that I thought tonight it was evident that people were cleaning up at the back.
Yeah, I think, I don't think it's as cut and dry as... It's hard to kind of explain without going into loads of detail, but I think it's one of those things where we're working on building an identity as a team and where we want to be, and part of that is having offensive defensemen that join the play and not looking at it as 2 defensemen, 3 forwards. There's 5 players on the ice, and all 5 players can fill each other's roles, and I think that's a fair comment to say that probably earlier in the season there's more mistakes with that. I think we're still... You just have to look. Nortsy's got, it's a power play goal, but Nortsy's got the equaliser, and then Nortsy's the guy on the puck going up ice 2-on-1 and making a play. So I think if anything, it's the execution's got better, which is what we would want and expect. And I think that's certainly a positive, that it's noticeable that there has been that improvement.
Yeah, well, I certainly think in open play that was the case, and there's a really good example of that you're talking about in the 3-on-3. Where Duncan's got the puck on the blue line, looking to shoot, but of course, if he does shoot and it comes off a shin pad, then it goes up, and then you turn. They've turned you, haven't they? So obviously, Paddy gets the beers. He is a worthy kind of nominee for that kind of thing. I spoke to him last week, and hopefully we'll catch him again, because now it's 200 goals. So just a word from you, from the locker room, what's it like playing with Paddy, and testament to the score tonight?
Yeah, I think Paddy's he knows it himself. He's an older guy in the locker room. He's the most experienced player that we've got, and I think he's the example to every other person in there as to what a real professional looks like. He's played at such a high level. Obviously, he's come here kind of the back end of his career, but he's the fittest guy on the team, and I've just said in the interview with Bob that it's a different era to the Pirates, and whilst we're one club and we celebrate that, I think it's important that as the identity of the Phantoms that we recognise the achievement that Paddy's got, and he's made tonight, going to 200 goals, and last week taking over Maris, who his numbers up on the wall for a reason. It's a different era of hockey. There's not the high scoring games of the past. So to get to 200 goals, one shows loyalty. He's been here for that amount of time. It shows quality, and it's just he's a great teammate, and I'm really pleased that he's been able to do that.
A worthy winner of the awards, the plaudits tonight. But I think it's worth mentioning someone else as well. I think Jordan Marr was lights out tonight, and particularly in the power play right at the end. I had a quick word with Brad Bowring, who head in hands, the longest 2 minutes of his life because he closed the game out.
Yeah.
But Marr was unreal.
Yeah, Marzi, again, I think it's probably the same last weekend.
Yes.
He stood on his head yesterday when we needed him, and then that's one of, I think tonight's probably up there with one of the better goaltending performances I've seen, full stop, in this building. Certainly, in recent times, I think when we needed a save, he gave it us, and as you say, that penalty kill at the end, those 3-4 huge saves that I can think of. I can't even talk about every one because there's that many, and then in overtime he shut the door, and that's what we want, and it's great to see. And
just to finish, I'm not sure we've talked about this previously in our after post-game interviews this season. Last season we started the league campaign slowly, grew and became a really strong team, but it killed our cup hopes early doors because our league form at the beginning we went 8-9 games and we were struggling.
Yeah.
That's 2 consecutive 4-point weekends against different clubs. That makes a difference.
It's huge, and I think I probably did stand here really early in the season, maybe first weekend, and set out that it's no secret that we want to be a top team again. We don't want to, like you say, towards the end of the season we became that, but it was too late for the cup, as you just said, and it's not a secret, and it's something that the guys are embracing, that is our first goal. When we get to that qualification, then obviously we can set our eyes on the trophy. And then after that, let's take stock, see where we are, and hopefully push on for the next one. Yeah, well, look, great result tonight, and great entertainment for fans going home. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next weekend.